decisions in the past. So even if it were true that all the jobs were for proprietary software, the schools have to teach free software because that's the way they can pressure the rest of society to switch over. If all the businesses saw that the schools are only teaching free software, they'd switch to free software to take advantage of this. Although, maybe not, because actually once you know how to program, it's not very hard to switch to another language, because programming is programming in any language. So the fact is, no matter what tools and languages you teach them in, if they become any good at it, they can do it in anything.
Okay,
so you only have, but still, you should, even though your influence is limited because they can switch later, you should still use your influence in the right direction, not the bad direction. Meanwhile, there is a lot of work with free software, and there can be more of it if we pressure the Brazilian government to enforce its laws that say whenever it contracts for a software solution, it's required to get this solution written as free software, and it has to be able to run on a free environment. Now, I brought this up speaking at CTI in Campinas, and someone said, well, that's already the law, but it's not enforced. But in fact, there is a substantial amount of free software development in Brazil and development on free platforms. So if you teach your students to be good at that, they will be able to get jobs with that. They won't even have a problem.
Okay, I promise I'll try.
Okay. Well, I hear a lot of noise, but that's all.
Today, how can I make money with free programs?
Well, first of all, there are many organizations that use free software. If you become, for instance, a skilled system administrator, you could get a job doing that. And there are companies that develop free software for clients that pay them. Remember, most software development that's paid is actually custom software. The client's going to pay for it anyway. But you can deliver it to the client as free software. The client will still have to pay, because no one's going to write that stuff if he's not paid. So, in fact, a lot of people do already make money developing free software this way. And if you want to do web development, well, a lot of that's done using free software anyway. But if the only job in the computer field that I could find involved using proprietary software, I would get a job as a waiter instead.
First of all, thanks for the presentation here. Over here. My name is Elena. I'm a product design student, and I wrote down my question, so I'm going to read it. What if priority software is highly attached to your job? Not a single product producer machine uses free source for 3D projecting, printing, or creation softwares.
Well, actually, there are 3D printers that run with free software. There are.
Really?
Yeah, especially the cheap ones.
So my question is, as if you were a dummy programmer, how can you...
Sorry, as if I were a dummy programmer?
Sorry, I'm talking about myself.
Okay, but I don't
know
understand
anything
what
about
words.
programming.
Okay.
And this is what I'm talking about. So if I don't understand nothing at all about programming, how can I use GNU or Linux to produce something that...
well, first of all, you use GNU and Linux together. That's why it's the GNU plus Linux system. But anyway, you don't need to be a programmer to use GNU plus Linux. It has graphical interfaces. You could just use it. Lots of people do. My mother uses it. She's in her 80s. She doesn't know any programming. She doesn't know how to use the command line either. She can only use it from graphical interfaces.
Hello. My name is Johan, and I'm a student at Florianopolis and Federal Institute. And I'm at the first stage of the electronic technical discipline. And my question is actually very similar to some that were made a moment ago, involving how a person, a professional programmer that works with the free software idea would get paid.
Well, I already answered that.
Oh yeah, I know, but you said if making programs for industries or business, even, but a program that would make a software more like an application that would work simple, like a video manager.
I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, like a video manager that he wants to put on the internet and make it for free.
A video manager. I don't know what you mean by that.
A simple application.
Application?
Yes.
Okay, well, what's the problem? We have lots of free software to do a lot of these things.
Yes,
if you want to put a video on the internet, you can do that with free software right now. It's easy.
Yes, but how would a person get paid programming the free software?
Well, sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. It depends on the project. There are a lot of people getting paid to write free software. There are also a lot of volunteers. I won't promise you that you will find a free software job. What I can say is that if you are active in the free software community, you might very well eventually get a free software job if you're determined to.
So it's following the free software principles is like, it's a dangerous thing to do, but
no,
you're doing
it's
the right
ethical thing.
No, the ethical thing to do, but not sometimes.
It's not dangerous. It's not dangerous. It's not as dangerous means something very bad might happen to you. No, it's not dangerous to reject proprietary software. It may be uncomfortable sometimes. It may require a sacrifice at times.
Yes,
but not a giant sacrifice. It's not going to kill you. Sometimes when we fight for freedom, people have to sacrifice their lives. But here, at most, it's inconvenience. Like the inconvenience of getting some other kind of job. Not everybody can find a full-time free software job. You may have to do some other ethical thing to get money and work on free software in your spare time. Now that's not a danger, but it's a possible inconvenience, yes. It's not ideal, but it's doing good instead of doing evil. Writing proprietary software is doing evil. So the most important point is that we should be living our lives in a way that makes the world better and not worse. And in any field that leads to requirements, specific requirements, incumbent on the people in that field. In the software field, the ethical requirement is to respect the freedom of the users of your software.
Thank you, sir. That answers my question.
Boa noite. Meu nome é Vitor, eu trabalho no Instituto Federal do Espírito Santo, na diretoria de pesquisa.
I'm not hearing a translation. Where is the translation? Translator, please speak. I hear you very, very faintly and through a lot of noise. Translator, keep speaking. Yes, now I seem to be on the right channel. So what did he say?
Eu apresentei, meu nome é Vitor. Você consegue ouvir a tradução?
Yes, I do. Keep speaking.
Okay. Trabalho na diretoria de pesquisa do Instituto Federal do Espírito Santo. No caso, a minha pergunta é a seguinte. Distribuições tipo Ubuntu, elas trabalham com repositório. E também tem uma filosofia assim, de tornar tudo mais amigável para o usuário final. Esse é um problema, assim, para, por exemplo, as pessoas que foram condicionadas a usar o Windows. Minha mãe, por exemplo, usa porque eu enganei ela colocando uma interface parecida com o Windows. No caso, a ideia de repositório o repositório ele é filtrado também. Você entende isso também como um cerceamento de liberdade?
I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I don't know what it means to say the repository is filtered. I don't understand. However, any organization that runs a repository can decide what to put in it. You don't have an obligation to redistribute every free program that exists. You can decide what you want to redistribute, and I can decide what I want to redistribute. So if there's a repository and some group of people decides which programs to put in it, that's okay. But if they decide not to distribute a certain program, they're not stopping me from distributing it, and they're not stopping him from installing it. So they're not attacking his freedom or my freedom. So, okay, they're welcome to make their decisions, and people, if they are trustworthy, people might trust their decisions. This is normal, and it's useful.
Hi, here. My name is Edvaldo and I study in Pará. I'm still in high school and I would like to know about, you said about free software and you talk a lot about private software. I want to...
No, proprietary software.
Yeah, proprietary.
Private software is a different thing. If you write a program and use it yourself, that's private software.